Hello, my beautiful drone flying friends. So today I'm going to give you my ultimate drone buying guide for 2020, 21, 22, 23, whatever year. It doesn't really matter. Just follow these steps and you'll be buying the perfect drone for you. So buying a drone can be really tricky. There are so many different types on the market now, so many brands, so many price points, so many features that it can be really hard to compare different features between brands, between price brackets, between types of drone. But ultimately, you need to just work out first and foremost why you want a drone. So this video is actually based on a massive article on droneflyingpro.com. Go there and type in drone buying guide and it will lead you to the article that this video is based on. It's got so much more information and it will really talk you through the steps and the different brackets. But in this video, I want to give you a summary of that article. And so the first thing that I always say is work out why you want a drone. And so what I did is kind of write down the 3 top reasons, and what that does is it really just focuses your attention on the most important features, the most important reasons why you're buying the drone. And look, for me, I bought the DJI Mavic Air. This was about a year and a half ago now. I bought it secondhand. If you want to buy a secondhand drone, go check out my other video on how to buy a secondhand drone. But this was it. So I bought this drone because I was creating content, a daily vlog to promote my startup. And I was sort of sharing the journey of a startup and what it is. So this drone needed to come with me. I was, inspired by Casey Neistat, which I think a lot of people are. And I was like, I want to add a bit of B-roll footage. This was about a year into my vlogging journey. So for me, it needed to be small enough to carry every day, which is why this is awesome. It needed to have at least 1080p, high resolution, high definition, and it needed to be easy to operate. I didn't want to have to learn a whole new thing. And so that to me was really important. I also wanted a controller. I didn't want it on an app on my phone. I wanted the extra little kind of like control that you get with a controller. And so write down your top 3 reasons for buying a drone, and that will guide your drone buying process. Okay. The second step is to list down all of the different things that make a drone suitable for why you want it. So first of all is skill level. So what is your skill level? And you have to be absolutely honest with yourself here. Are you a beginner? Are you someone who wants to learn, but you don't want to buy like a toy drone? Or are you an expert? Are you an expert flyer, which means you can pretty much fly any drone on the market? Now, the good thing is that most prosumer, so top-end consumer drones, have so many smart, intelligent flight features that it really doesn't matter your flight experience. But if you're, for example, want to go down the racing drone route, then it can be that you need a drone with different settings, like a beginner, a intermediate, and an expert mode, so that you don't just crash it immediately. All of the DJI drones that I've flown have GPS location, it has stabilizing, and essentially if you feel like you're going to screw up, you just stop what you're doing and the drone will hold its position. So yeah, I was coming in from 0 experience, so I needed a drone with those smart features. Another thing is budget. Drones can vary from anywhere from like $30 all the way up to many thousands of dollars. And so you really have to be honest with yourself. And my budget at the time was, I think, about $1,000. And I wanted an extra battery with that. So that's why I went down the second-hand drone route. And so for you, that may be something you need to think about, which is what is your budget, and set a hard budget, a hard top. Because, it can get pretty expensive. $1,000 on a new toy can be a little bit excessive. and indulgent. So, if your budget's $500, great. If it's less than that, no problem. You'll almost certainly be able to find a drone that will match what you need it to do. You just have to set a budget. And it's not always that the most expensive drone is the best one for why you want to use it. And that's why we put down those top 3 things to make sure that we buy a drone that fits those things. But we're not just buying the most expensive drone on the market, because it almost certainly won't be the best one for your specific purpose. Okay, and then we got to look at what features. So if you're a beginner, if you're flying a drone for the first time, some of the most important features are going to be those advanced or smart flying features. If you want a drone for spraying crops, then obviously it needs to be able to spray crops. If you're buying a drone for drone fishing, then it needs to be able to have drone fishing capabilities. All of those things are so important. For me, I wanted something with a great camera that folded down small and that had a good battery life. I was only flying it for sort of 15 minutes at a time. So most drones at that time, most sort of DJI and professional or semi-professional drones at that time were, great flight time. So that was really important for me. Now go to the article that this is based on, so droneflyingpro.com/drone buying guide, and you will get all of the features that you should consider and just sort of like tick and cross them as you go. Is that important? Is that not important for me? But importantly, it is about finding a drone with the features for you. And that's why this guide is focused on those first 3 questions, which is, why are you buying a drone? What's your price? And now the features you need. Another thing you need to think about are accessories. So for me, I could pretty much use a standard drone without any extra accessories. I didn't need any neutral density filters at the time. I didn't need any sort of like drone fishing attachments like release mechanisms. I didn't need any landing pads, all of these things. I didn't need a sun shield for the screen on my smartphone. So all of those you have to take into account into the price aspect. So what features are going to be what accessories are going to be most important to your use case of the drone? It's easy to get a little bit carried away when you buy a drone that you need all these accessories, and it can feel nice to buy an extra battery or an extra smart controller or a sun visor or a landing pad or, all of these things. But really, you just keep them to a minimum and make sure, this is the most important bit of this part, is make sure that you can find them specifically for the drone that you want to buy. So for example, the DJI Mavic Air probably isn't super great for drone fishing, although there is a company that sells attachments for bait release underneath. So you do have to find some accessories that are specific to the drone that you're thinking of buying, and therefore you just need to make sure they're available. And I think one of the most important last things to consider is controller type. Now, when your drone is up in the air, this is the main thing that is your conduit to the drone to stop it from flying into stuff, from crashing, from just sort of like tumbling out of the air. And so for me, having a dedicated controller was very important. But some drones, like the DJI Mavic Mini, can be operated, and this one actually, the Air, I think a lot of them can be operated via apps. And some of the toy drones don't come with a controller, they're just app-based. So that's sort of like a consideration for you, which is, how important is a controller for you. That'll give you extra range. It'll give you extra buttons and features. This one's got pause and a return to home and a record and take a photo and, 2 programmable function buttons. So think about what you want to do when the drone is in the air. Are you happy with an app, or do you want a controller? Now, those are all the things I think you should consider before even starting to look online or Googling for different types of drones. And now let's break down the drone categories so that you know what each one involves. Okay, so the first category are toy drones. And so really the toy drone section they're super cheap, which means they don't necessarily come with much flight time. They don't come with a dedicated controller necessarily. And, they don't come with cameras, or they don't come with extra smart features. And so this sort of price range can sort of like vary from anywhere between about $20 all the way up to probably $100, $150, and that will just depend on the features that you want. So if you just want a drone for sort of like fanging around your house, then a toy drone's perfect for it. They tend to be pretty durable. They're great for children. There's even drones that you can control with your hands. So go check out the article again. I've got a link to all of the products that are recommended for each category. And the toy drones are fantastic if you just want to send something up into the air. There's something really magical about sending a drone up and controlling it and seeing it fly around. If you're just going around your garden, your house, you don't need much range, then a toy drone is almost perfect for you. They tend to be pretty durable as well because they don't have the smart features. They tend to be made of pretty durable plastics, and so you can crash them a fair bit. They have propeller guards and all that sort of stuff. So a toy drone is a perfect place to start. And then if you feel like you want some extra features like fancy cameras or flying controllers or, smart flight guides, then you can look at that next level up, which is kind of the beginner to prosumer range. So let's talk about those. So from the beginner to the advanced prosumer range, we're talking about drones that are a little bit more expensive but have a lot more features and ability to capture like HD video, and also have some automatic flight controllers, so boomerang shots, droney shots, all that sort of stuff. So the DJI Mavic Mini and even something like the Rise Tello is a fantastic drone at the beginner range of something a little bit more than a toy but not super serious, and these tend to come with more smart features. They're actually just a pleasure to fly because everything's been thought about from a pilot's experience. You often get first person view, so a live video screening of what your drone is seeing at that time, and also perfect for sort of teenagers and up. And so this kind of beginner to prosumer range is really fantastic. And, I chose the Mavic Air because it's just a brilliant drone. The next one up from this in terms of price and features was the Pro series, and I just didn't need it. Even though all of the extra features were like trendy and nice and part of me wanted it, I just didn't need it. Now, at this level of drone, you can start to get a little bit carried away when you start saying, oh, I'll spend an extra $500, an extra $100, extra $200, but remember to always go back to the list that we talked about at the beginning. What are those 3 reasons that you're buying a drone? What features do you need? And just keep on heading up the price list until you find one that balances your budget with also the features that it's got. And you don't always have to buy the most expensive one. This goes all the way up to the DJI Phantom series, which can cost, a couple $1,000s. So it can get pretty expensive, and sticking to your budget here is the biggest bit of advice. And I think this series goes anywhere, it includes most of the DJI series up to the Phantom. And then after that, you're looking at professional level drones. And so let's talk about those. So I think for most people, that this range of drone is great. It's fantastic. The guy that I bought my drone off, he was like, you probably never need another drone, unless I wanted super slow-mo 4K footage. There's no need for me to really upgrade what I've got. Here's some sample footage that I took just this weekend in the southern Flinders Ranges in South Australia. It's beautiful. It does everything I need it to do. It's perfect for YouTube and showing my friends, and I created a little teaser for the Rogainer group that I was up there with. So this drone is fantastic, and unless something seriously goes wrong with it, I probably don't need to upgrade. So for most people watching this video, have a look at the sort of beginner level drone to the prosumer range and just narrow in, the sliding scale of where you need to sit there to match what you want with your budget, with the features, and you'll be sure not to regret your purchase. So the next level is professional drones. Now, when we start to get into professional level drones, you really have worked out what you want your drone for. So there are, cinematography, cinema level quality cameras on a lot of drones, and it costs many thousands of dollars. So at this point, you very much know what you want. It could be that you're using a camera or a drone specifically for a movie, a shot, a film. And also, this is where specialized type of drones come in. So agricultural drones, or drones for fishing, all of these sort of like highly professional, super niche drones is where I think we start to draw the line between the prosumer and the professional range. People know exactly what they want from their drone. They've got a higher budget because they're using it professionally. They know exactly what they expect from their drone. And this is the level where things start to get expensive and serious. And so really you need to understand each drone, how to fly it, and the benefits that you get for your extra spend. And it may be that you just get a better camera. It's like sending a DSLR up into the sky. You want to make sure that you feel confident in the drone's ability to get you exactly what you want. And so the professional range drones are probably out of reach of most people until you reach the end of that kind of prosumer range. You're like, right, I definitely need a drone now that does this extra thing, and I can't find it in my price range. So that's when you start looking at professional level drones. And the final type of drone that I want to talk about are racing drones. So some people just want to race drones as fast as possible, and that is absolutely okay. And so, look, there's a whole range from beginners through advanced. You can even build your own. Go check out the article that this video is based on, and I've got everything you need to think about for racing drones. But there isn't too much to think about other than make sure that there's enough cheap parts for when you crash it. You can also get, beginner racing drones. You can also get advanced stuff. And it's about, once again, working out your price range, exactly what you want from your drone, and where you can find that in the racing drone selection. And look, going DIY, I think, is a fantastic learning curve, but you may want to just buy one that is already mostly built for you, and that will, I think, make sure that you enjoy the part of drone ownership the most, which is flying it. Some people find a lot of joy in building their drone, but if you just want to get out there, fly quickly, go around obstacle course, find a common interest group on Meetup and take your beginner drone, go ask them what they recommend. They'll have a much deeper insight for you than this short video can provide. So yes, racing drones are the final type, and it just needs a little bit of thought into exactly what you want. So if you're new to this channel and you like this video, please remember to subscribe. That is all of the information I have about the ultimate drone buying guide. It doesn't matter what year it is. It's all about not necessarily the tech, but balancing what you want, your specific use case, with the drones that are out there at the time, with the budget and the features and that sort of stuff. So it really comes down to a personal decision, but I hope this video has helped you work out and give you a strategy for working out exactly what type of drone you need within your budget, and don't get carried away. You can always upgrade and resell your drone if you need that extra feature later on. But yeah, be strategic about it and make sure, importantly, that you enjoy the drone you buy, and you're not just chasing the next best gadget. Although there's nothing wrong with that either. All right, happy flying, and I shall see you in the next video.